YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steel. Boom! Y'all notice the boom's been getting a lot louder and harder. Feeling good. Although today, y'all, this one's going to be tough. This one I'm going to have to got to talk nice about this Eagles team because it's the Cowboys' toughest test, I think, today offensively. We'll talk about our offense against the Eagles' defense, where they're good at, where they've been susceptible. And in the roundup, we got another injury report, the first one of the week. A couple surprises, a couple surprises on there. Got a return. Where's my guy at?
Hold on a minute, player. Hold on a minute, player.
Hold on a minute, player. We got a return. I love it, though. I love this return that potentially could happen in this game. Sounds like he's good to go. And we'll talk about that coming out of the roundup. I got a first word from our guy, Jason Peters, and we'll see what he has to say. Then we'll preview this matchup, man. This isn't the heavyweight fight. It's the undercard. But this is an important matchup because, I went to Twitter today and I talked about how, hey, the offense has got to be better. We already discussed this on Tuesday for the tail of the tape. It's got to be better. And unfortunately, we're running into a pretty good defense this week, but by any means necessary. By any means necessary. I don't care what they got to do this week. Throw the kitchen sink. But what's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
Tyson said, feel like a bushwhacker walking into this matchup. Again, I hate to do the wrestling terms. A lot of y'all don't like it or don't even know what I'm talking about. But do y'all remember when the Bushwhackers came down in the Royal Rumble like this, got in the ring, got thrown off, and then walked right back out? Hilarious, man. What's good with y'all, though? Jeffrey, Professor O, Swain, K, Choice, PZ, Captain America. What's up, man? Alex, Tyson, Lord Nova, Marcus, Airborne Bully, 6 to Midnight, Cole Jelly, a.k.a. CJ Richards, PZ. I said PZ, didn't I? Hallelujah. Iceberg Q, Solomon over on Facebook, Gregory, Jacob. I thought I saw Stephen White up in here, Special K, Alpha Mason, Father of 5. You got a whole basketball squad over there, but starting 5. Ready Red, JLV, Travius. Who else we got up in here, man? All y'all joining us, man. What's up, Joe T, Toxic Tom, and many more coming through. I know I don't say this often. I keep forgetting, but if you do miss the show and you can't watch it via video, we do upload these things on the audio for podcast platform. Check it out. If you want to know how to get that, you can go look at that DFW turf ticker, the number 1 artificial turf in the DFW area, AtoZSportsDallas.com, and we'll have all that stuff up to date there. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I didn't mean to start a stir on Twitter. That's not what I was trying to do. I was just pointing out the stats we talked about on Tuesday, and they're starting to get around now this morning. But it's important. It's important that the Cowboys, they don't necessarily have to win this matchup. Probably like, what the hell are you talking about, Sky? You got to win this matchup. They got to get some wins in this matchup. That's pretty much what they've been doing over the last 4 weeks. They haven't won these matchups, but they're getting some wins, and that's all they got to do, man. So we'll talk about how they could do that and where they need to improve on that area. With that said, man, if you want to call into the show, because we're going to be straightforward today. We're going to come out of the roundup. We'll get into the first word. We're going to break down this Eagles defense. If you want to call in and talk about it, you can. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. Come on in. The water is warm. Holla at your boy. Let's get into this roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it.
Hey. Yo. Dak out there throwing the ball, man. He out there throwing the ball. He ain't practiced, though. Coach McCarthy, they were really pressing him. You can hear the reporters, right, in the press conference just tiptoeing around this thing. McCarthy's starting to get, I like it, man. McCarthy is starting to get a little power back over there in Dallas, and I'm loving it. They tiptoeing around things, a little nervous to ask McCarthy questions. Could be me. Hey, coach, is Dak playing this week or not? That's pretty much what I mean. But they were asking McCarthy, hey, man, so what's Dak going to do? He going to throw the ball today? He said, yeah, do a little light throwing. We'll see what's up with it, man. Well, you said if he couldn't do a full week and he's not practicing the days, then has anything changed? Did you move the goalpost a little bit? McCarthy said, didn't I just tell y'all? It's a medical thing. And he said, well, so basically what you're saying is Cooper, just ask the question. Is Cooper Rush starting this week? McCarthy said, we are planning to go with Cooper Rush as Dak recovers. He's not medically cleared yet. He's so scared of Big Mike. Stop being scared. But he did throw off to the side. He was throwing after practice, and his receivers were talking about it. Dennis Houston said he's got the same velocity. Michael Gallup said it's good to see him out there. He'll be back there soon. Lamb said he's physically got his power back. You feel it in every throw. So we're getting closer. I am glad they're not rushing him back this week. Again, this week would have been, 5 weeks anyway? And we were talking about 6 to 8 at the onset of this situation. So 5 weeks felt about right when they decided to think it was 4 to 6. We'll see what happens next week. But it's good that he's throwing this week. Let's see where we're at next week. They got to stop being scared of Mike McCarthy, man. I think he's a good interview. Now, the rest of the injury report. Big Bo is back. And yesterday, towards the end of the show, I forget the caller's name. My apologies. He called in and we were talking about Bohanna, and it just immediately I started thinking, and I was actually thinking this prior, but I forgot to mention it. Like, Bohanna didn't dress or he didn't play on last week, but I wonder if that was strategic. I didn't reach out and ask any of those questions. I was like, what's the point? But I think it was strategic. I think they looked at the Rams, who ran the ball second to last from a rate standpoint, and said, this would be a cheap week to get Bohanna some rest. They're not going to run the rock. And this week, this team will run the rock, as we talked about the other day. But Bohanna was back in full. Not limited, not any of that. He was back in full. So I definitely think he was held out for a reason. Micah Parsons got a rest day. That's what I'm going to call it here. He didn't practice. But he said it. Coach said it. Steven said it. Jerry said it. He playing. They're just doing what they have to do with their franchise guy, right? Like, hey, you tweaked some. You got a little dinged up. Let's rest you a little bit here, man. So Micah Parsons sat out, but he'll be playing. Dalton Schultz was limited. We talked about this yesterday. He's going to try to give it a go. We'll see what happens. Connor McGovern, Donovan Wilson, J-Rock, all those guys were full participants. So they'll be playing as well. Speaking of Connor McGovern, Jason Peters, surprise addition to this injury report. And not from the fact of did not practice or anything like that. He's back. And I say surprise because when the injury came out last week, or the report came out last week, it was Jason Peters has a chest injury. He could miss multiple weeks. And we really didn't hear anything else. It was just Jason Peters is out. Could miss multiple weeks. That was it. It went dark for about 4 days or whatever. Then yesterday, it came out, Jason Peters is back. Huh. What happened? He wouldn't really say that. But he spoke with reporters yesterday in the locker room and gave a quick little update on, really not much of an update, but a little quick little I'm back update. Talked about Tyler Smith saying that he's the fun uncle and passing his knowledge on to the other players and whatnot. So let's listen to Jason Peters here in the first word.
Where's your health? What's going on with your chest injury? And will you be ready to play this week? Was it another week or so?
I was at practice today. You see me?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, okay. I'm good. Yeah, I'm definitely the fun uncle, even though I look younger than him. No, but yeah, I just try to help him out. that's my guy. I try to help all the tackles out, all the guards, and even some of the young centers. Just passing my knowledge on to them. You know, I get enjoyment out of that. You know, coaching them up and trying to make them great. Yeah, I always been like that, but when I got here and I watched Tyler film, he was needing a little bit of tweaking. So, like I said, I just passed what I know on to him, and he transitions it to the field.
But he's acceptable to coach.
Yeah, he definitely he's a coachable guy. You can tell him something, and you can tell him he's wrong in this, and he listens and he fixes himself.
God, I love Jason Peters, man. Jason Peters, how you feeling, man? How you look? You saw me out there at practice, right? Yeah, but I shut it down right away. I don't know, man. I'm not a reporter, so I probably shouldn't celebrate or make light of these things, but I kind of like when the players are of a matter of fact, respectfully. Sometimes reporter asks these certain questions, not coming at chill, but if you are in the Dallas area, you know how Clarence can get. But Jason Peters flat out said, "Yeah, man, I'm back. We're good to go. I like teaching these guys. I like teaching these young guys." But the question now becomes, what does this mean for the left guard position? Because I thought, all right, Jason Peters, chest injury, he's going to be out for a while. Connor McGovern's the guy. Well, now Jason Peters back. They've been doing this little rotation thing with Connor McGovern, Forniak, and Peters. Do they continue to do that? And McGovern returns from his ankle injury, and he doesn't really get a break, man. First game back, he gets Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. Second game back, he gets Aaron Donald. Third game back, he gets all these dudes up front for the Eagles. We'll talk about here in a second. So, and it's not. And now listen, last game he was holding on as best he could, man. So it's Donald, right? But first game wasn't great, but we'll see this week. Let me ask you guys. Not what would Dallas do? What would you do? Would you play Jason Peters more here, or would you roll with Connor McGovern? Play Jason Peters more this week against his former team. I wonder how many people believe Jason Peters is a better player. This is a weird situation, man, because Peters is still getting acclimated to left guard. And you could see it in the play. You saw it against the Giants, which was the better game. You saw it in Washington, which was the worst game. But I think he's the more talented guy. I think he's a stronger guy. And you're about to go up against some dudes, man. You're about to go up against some dudes. Play JP, McGovern. Peters wants to prove a point. Johnny, of course, play Peters. Play Peters more if he's healthy. And here's the thing. I don't even know if they're going to play him more, right? Like I think they might do a series, two series, 3 series type of situation, but it might look like 80-20. McGovern and Peters, we're a little bit split here. Play the natural guard. McGovern held his own against AD at times. A lot of people hold their own, and then they get owned. He was holding on, man, but they all were. It's AD. It is what it is. Hallelujah said, Forniak. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. Let's hear what you guys got to say on the phone, man. Let's get to the phone lines very quick. Pulse of the Nation phone lines presented by the Cochran Firm since 2005. That's 2005. My guys Brian Pope and Larry Taylor have handled the most challenging civil cases involving personal injury, wrongful death, fraud, truck, or automobile accidents, which happen frequently here in Dallas. In the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston area for that matter. If any of these things or any other legal issues come up and you got questions or you need help, reach out to my guys Brian and Larry at the Cochran Firm. Really good dudes, really good firm, great people down there. They will help you out. And if you do become part of their clientele, they handle their civil cases on a contingent fee basis, meaning if there is no financial recovery, they charge no fee. So contact 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. D Schiff, you up first. What's good?
Hey, what's up, man? so much on my mind this morning, man. I don't know if you got to catch a little of that round table last night.
Ha.
It was,
A very, very, very small amount of it because at times it gets
it
tough,
was,
right? When it's 6 people and definitely rivals.
it's just this podcast community kind of like this D line. We can just rush you in waves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think we had. I think the chemistry was definitely something. You know, I think maybe if you would have had a Vach and a Skywalker still up there with Law, shout out to Rome and Jay Tuck, though they held it down for sure.
Hey, Chef, before you go on,
man.
hold on. Before you go on, this is what I love about Rome and Jay Tuck. Rome and Jay Tuck are like the foot soldiers, bro. They want all the smoke. They don't.
Oh, yeah.
They want all the smoke, man. I love it, man.
Man, they were unbothered, definitely, for sure. They were unbothered.
Go
And
ahead,
they even got to hyping up the front office and the money that we don't benefit off of. So, you know, they didn't care. They wanted all of it. So, man, I just kind of broke down. I started looking at the Eagles, man, and one thing that I'm really not impressed with is the fact that, you know, Kirk Cousins threw 3 interceptions in their territory. I think with Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence had some silly fumbles. One he's just running, just the ball, you know, came out of his hand. Arizona, they weren't. I think they had a little bit of mishaps. All that to say that I don't think the Cowboys play a brand of football where they're going to provide you with those opportunities, especially if they start Cooper Rush, because he's definitely on reins, right? And I think the teams that the Eagles have played defensively, the offense they played, they have quarterbacks that have this ego and they try to play outside themselves at times.
Or they
And I
are
think there's
themselves. Let's be careful saying outside themselves, right? Like Kyler Murray, that is Kyler Murray. He's a run around guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins isn't a very aggressive thrower. Jared Goff is pretty middle of the road in regards to whether he's throwing interceptions or not.
How would you play with a Jared? How would you play with a Jared Goff or a Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz,
and Wentz is
Trevor Lawrence?
now that you say it all,
how would you play with
they
them?
all played just about how they are, for real, to be honest.
For sure. But would you want to rely more on your running game with those type of guys?
You always want to at least have some type of help from a running game department, right?
For sure.
Whether you're a running
I don't
team,
think those teams.
Yeah.
I think Philly can get ran on. I think those teams at times ask their quarterbacks to do too much, and they put them in positions that, you know, they're bound to turn the ball over. Like you said, they're incredible talents. All got prospected for certain reasons, one time and another. But there's also the mental game, right? And that's kind of what, you know.
Well, here's the
protect your
problem.
guys.
If we go game for game, what would happen in some of these games? The Washington football people got down 24-0 at halftime. I mean, forget the run game; it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
The Lions, and that's why. And I'm gonna show some film later today. And I tell y'all, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't like to just use week 1, you know, because week 1 across the league is always really is nothing really you can gain from that. But that was the only game where a team scored a lot of points. So I wanted to see, you know, how it was done from a film standpoint. And we'll talk about what the Lions did. The Lions are a different animal. They don't give a damn. They run the ball, but they do. That's one of the schemes I would look at and I would try to mimic as well. But we'll talk about that. The Lions did stick with the run. The Vikings got down early. They couldn't stick with the run. They were trying to come back with the pass. The Cardinals could not run because they were finesse. So,
right.
You know, what you can't do is allow this team to get up to a point where now you can't run.
Yeah, no, I think the Eagles have plenty of opportunities to kind of go away, because I think that's another thing the Eagles say. Hey, we got up to a lead and we didn't really necessarily have to throw. That's why, you know, our passing numbers and they're up there in the tops. But they've had a lot of opportunities. First and foremost, like I said, I mean, I don't think our team is going to provide them the opportunity to have some of those turnovers they've had. The Vikings, like I said, the
reason why they had opportunities is because they were up. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if you keep it here's the thing. If you keep it close, which means the defense is going to have to help you, but the offense is as well. If you keep it close, then yeah, you can run the ball. But what happens, Schiff, if you're down 13-3? 17-3.
And then I think
They will walk
you
them.
can't panic because
They will welcome, bro. They will welcome you to run. Trust me and believe me.
I think again with our team, our running game, it's like in the Rams game, you know, it was a lot easier said than done to say, hey, this is a 5-minute game. The Rams can still go down and throw the ball and catch up. And it's a lot easier said than done. Like
we were winning
Hurts,
by double digits.
huh?
That's a different.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
no,
yeah. What I'm trying to explain to you
totally,
is we can't
yeah,
get
I get
down.
your point on that.
Yeah, we can't get down.
I'm saying that it's a lot easier said than done to say that we can put this team down because you got to go score on this defense.
Yes.
And they haven't played a defense like ours, and not just hyping it, but there's like legit things that our defense does that. I mean, Eagles, they eat off of a lot of screens. They've been able to eat off these teams with Hurts just kind of running, getting open, you know, but passing wise, you know, his numbers aren't incredible. They bring up he has 10 touchdowns on the year. Well, that's 2 touchdowns a game. That's not really, you know, MVPs are getting 3 touchdowns a game off passing alone.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know if you were in a show yesterday. I mean, I'm not trying to go. We're kind of all over the place a bit here. I don't know if you were in a show yesterday. The Cowboys' defense against the Eagles' offense, I feel way better about. Today we're talking about the Cowboys' offense against their defense. Yeah, that's the matchup that I don't give a damn how much of a homer you are. If you're an objective person, that advantage does go to Philly. So now you got to figure out how do we score enough to make sure that we're still in this game, or we get up in this game, or we're not getting away. Like the game's not getting away from Dallas, because this might be this might be, aside from I'm trying to think here. I mean, yeah, let's be honest. This might be one of the worst offenses that the Eagles have played this year, if we're being completely honest. So we got to figure out how we can score points.
I think we can keep their scoring, because I don't think the Eagles are as prolific of an offense as people. You can't tell me when Jalen Hurts is winning 24-7 at halftime that he don't want to try to go get him a 40 burger. You know, like that. That's just kind of within guys. You know, want to prove that about themselves. I think defensively they do things well. Passing completion percentage are like 58.6%.
Fourth in the league.
Passing for first downs, they're 33.5, but we're at 26.9. Rushing for first down percentage, we're at 24%. They're at 25.3. So I mean, considering the offenses that they played, I think we played better offenses, and we still managed to have better defensive
You're
numbers.
talking about the defense. Today's game is today. We're talking about the Cowboys' offense. I don't want to regurgitate everything from yesterday, but I mean, if y'all want to do that, we can. I'm not as concerned defensively with this game. I think the Cowboys have all the tools, the coaching, the players to corral the Eagles' offense enough.
Well, I guess.
But go ahead and
final
go ahead
take,
and land the plane.
The final take would be that I don't think our offense plays in a way for this defense to be as opportunistic as they've been. I think there's been a lot more opportunities that they've had, and by playing quarterbacks that will make those mistakes. And I think we played those better quarterbacks, which, you know, Stafford's his situation, just having a bad offensive line. We've been able to take advantage of that. Hopefully, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we'll get out of here. But that's just my final point. I don't think our offense is going to provide that opportunity. So take it easy, man.
Yes, sir. Hope not. Again, that's the gift and the curse of how this Cowboys offense is playing right now. They ain't providing an opportunity, even though 2 interceptions called back, 3 turnover-worthy plays, things like that have happened. They're not providing the opportunities, but they're also not getting themselves in position to score. They have to score long distance there. They're scoring with Tony Pollard busting off these big plays every here or there. This offense is going to have to be better. In fact, let's go ahead and let's talk about this Eagles defense, because when I did go and watch the first game against the Detroit Lions, the first thing you'll see in the second play of the game, is Swift breaking off a 50-yarder. I said, how did they do that? And you'll see when I bring up the film. They did some really cool stuff on the interior from a trap purpose. But from a overall general standpoint, this Eagles defense, just flat out, it's a good defense, man. I mean, again, that's why I said I'm going to hate myself today having to talk up this defense, but it's good. It is what it is, man. Jonathan Gannon is the defensive coordinator. Year 2, he's improved. If you go to the volume, numbers are 4th in yards per game, 7th in points per game, 10th in rush yards per game, but 25th in yards per attempt due to a couple of those big runs in week 1. 25th in third down defense and 13th in red zone. So it's a good D. Now, when you go to the actual run defense, now before we start with up front, because we know up front is kind of where everything starts. I do like their linebackers this year as opposed to last year. And I didn't break down this play, but man, if you could see what they did, I mean, you'll see it on the other angle real quick before I keep moving here. Watch the guards, the traps. We don't do that, but I wish we did. But anyway, TJ Edwards and Kaiser White, I think, is the best duo they've had in a bit here. I think Edwards is the more physical linebacker to me. So when our linebackers or when our tight ends get on to the linebackers, they need to bring it. They need to bring it. But this defense is predicated up front. Not saying they don't got talent up in the back end, but it runs on how up front can handle things. And this will be, in my opinion, the toughest challenge for the Cowboys front all year. Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargraves, Milton Williams. The deepest interior. In fact, I would do a lot of this. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. If I was Kellen, I'd like to see him get back into the edge attack. I'd like to see him get back to making these boys run sideline to sideline. Make their cornerbacks tackle. Because running inside the way the Cowboys run inside, don't think that's going to work as much. You're going to need some traps. You're going to need some pulls. I think you're going to need to attack the edges a little bit, to be honest. You know, you did that in week 1 when you ran against a good team, and you had success. You just stopped doing it. The Cardinals played a lot of finesse ball, and that's what the Cardinals do. They're a college offense. They're all this shotgun stuff. You run at them with finesse, ain't happening. Ain't going to work. Won't do it. Can't do it. Detroit did not. Detroit did some cool things up front from a trap game standpoint, and it sprung open some lanes. This also has an indication on their yards per carry as well. I think Detroit ran an ending around with St. Brown. He went for like 50-something yards. You saw Samuels do an ending around for about 17 yards. I would love to see Turpin get involved. I just would. Some of the success you see here is coming from post-snap movement. I think Dallas needs to do a little bit of that. We're going to run the rock. I don't think we're going to get into a game where we're throwing the ball 40 times unless the Eagles get up, which I don't see that. So if we're going to run the rock, you got to run with a purpose, and you got to be efficient. If not, this could be one of those games where you just have to stick with it to protect your quarterback, because this quarterback is not a run-around quarterback. And the pass defense, a.k.a. the pass rush, is legit. It's legit. The secondary has been legit. But they're playing aggressive back there, and they're playing confident because of this front, man. And the edge rushers are led by Hassan Reddick, 4.5 sacks over the last 3 weeks, 3 forced fumbles during that span. And we dealt with Reddick last year. Different line, obviously different quarterbacks, but we're familiar with Hassan Reddick. But he got some good running mates, too, out there on the edge. Josh Sweat, and we are familiar with Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham's sneaky. He an old man. But he's sneaky. You got that old man strength. He's got a really good edge and really good front. Let's just be real. So I think that this is going to be the biggest test up front from a 60-minute basis on both sides of the ball, if we're being honest. But for the Cowboys offensive line, this will be the biggest test from a down in, down out basis, because they're pretty deep. They're pretty deep and they're pretty good. Now, what are they like on the back end? Teams only completing 48% or 58% of their passes. That ranks 4th in the NFL. This isn't the Eagles secondary of yesteryear. You remember those games, whether it be Tony Romo or Dak Prescott, they always got a good front. But their secondary was burnt toast. Not necessarily the case this year. Bradbury's playing much better. Obviously, Darius Slay, we'll get to those guys a little bit later. But they're able to play aggressive because of this front. They're making quarterbacks either have to do two things. One, run around like this. Or two, much like the Cowboys, get rid of the ball quickly. Murray, and do I have this? I don't have it in here. Murray is averaging 2.24, or he averaged 2.24 seconds in time to throw against the Eagles. And that's including the plays that he was running around and threw the ball for a first down. Trevor Lawrence, 2.5, and he completed 47% of his passes. Carson Wentz held it the longest, and he was sacked the most, 2.7, and he was sacked 9 times because he wouldn't get the ball out. Jared Goff got rid of it the fastest this season at 2.4, and Kirk Cousins second fastest at 2.54, and he had 3 interceptions in that game. So they're making guys get rid of the ball fast. I think they're going to look into this game and say, well, if it ain't play action, Cooper Rush likes to get rid of the ball fast. We haven't seen a lot of trap coverages, but we saw one last week. I wonder if Jonathan Gannon disguises some things this week, knowing that he has a front that he's confident in. Slay is still one of the best guys in the league. Let's just be real. I would not play around with these out routes around Darius Slay. Don't do it. That's what he's been feasting on his entire career. And Cooper Rush throwing outside the middle of the field, it's not really his strength. He can do it, right? We saw the floater deep down one-on-one out, basically a my ball or nobody's ball to Michael Gallup. We saw, one-on-one, my guy Gallup gets open, he drops it. But for the most part, we're completing 51% outside the middle of the field. And if you account, say, 3 drops over the last couple games, it's 56%. We understand that's not his game. And I don't know if you want to play with Darius Slay in that manner. Now, the other dude, James Bradbury's playing better. Kind of wish we had Dak in this situation because Dak was just going at James Bradbury over the last couple years. He's playing better. He's probably playing more confident because he got a better defense, right? Like, it is what it is. But he's playing better ball this year. Fortunately, they don't have Avonte Maddox, who is formed into a really good slot cornerback for the Eagles. Not sure if he'll miss this game. He sat out last week, but he's turned into a really good one. So they've been using Chauncey Gardner-Johnson down there a little bit. So a weird thing about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he was a slot corner. And then they moved him to safety. Been having a little bit of trouble at safety. He did get a pick last week. But he also gave up a touchdown to Kyler Murray, too. So I don't want to say mouse in a house, but if you get Devontae, or if you get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson matched up with CeeDee Lamb in the slot, that's where I'm trying to take advantage of that one. Now, if y'all remember last year when the Cowboys played the Eagles, we ran the ball like crazy on them because for whatever reason last year, Jonathan Gannon didn't like to load the box. He was one of the highest two high safety teams in the league, right? He really didn't like the blitz, none of that stuff. Different story this year. He's still playing about the same amount of cover one, but he's blitzing a lot more. Last year, only blitzed 11.4%. That's up to 26.4%. Now, I wonder if that has a lot to do with getting the lead. Because once you get up, right, it's like, all right, well, let's go get the quarterback. So we'll see how they play that one. Because one thing that this Cowboys offense, whether it be Coop or Dak, if you blitz them and they know you're blitzing, I'll take my chances one-on-one, which is why it's going to be very important to win these one-on-ones against these cornerbacks if they play it that way over there. Sometimes you can get a zone blitz. Sometimes you can get a blitz where we're going to zone this side and man up that side, so you have to pick and choose where you're going here and make the correct read. It won't be easy to win these, but it'll be necessary. What I'm worried about is, will we try to max pro and go 2v6, 2v7 like we've been doing the last couple games? I just don't see that being I don't know, man. I just don't see that being successful as much against this defense. This isn't Washington. They got a terrible secondary. This isn't the Giants. The Giants are a bunch of, not Jimmys and Joes, X's and O's. There's a bit of a both here. X's and O's and Jimmys and Joes. And they make it difficult on these QBs. They're second in the NFL in opponent passer rating. So, be a big test, man. So, my final thoughts, though. Kellen Moore, because this is what it's going to come down to. Kellen Moore is going to have to get into his creative bag. Creative bag pre-snap, creative bag post-snap. I know it's going to sound crazy, but it may get to a point where he's just going to have to trust Cooper Rush to a drive or two or three or whatever it is to throw the rock. And that sounds crazy because this is a good defense. But I just don't think at this current rate that the offense is going. Let me say this. At this current rate that the offense is going against this defense, it is an uphill battle. It always was an uphill battle, but that hill went from this to being this against that defense. So this is going to be, in my opinion, this isn't really much. I don't even think it's going to be much of a Cooper Rush game. I think this is going to be a Kellen Moore game. Kellen Moore is going to have to help Cooper Rush, and then obviously Cooper Rush is going to have to, execute. But this game is going to come down to, can the front block it up? Passing, rushing, whatever. Can they block it up? Because we want to stay on track. We want to stay in front of the sticks. We don't want to get in third longs. We don't want to get into second and longs. We haven't been great on third down. We need to be able to make this thing. We need to be able to matriculate down the field and score some points. That's been hard on worse defenses. But it is what it is. It's going to be a hostile environment down there. I don't want to see Rush dropping back 35 times in this game. And if it has to look like it looked against Washington, where the running game wasn't quite going, but they still ran it 27 times or something like that, then so be it, as long as the game is not getting out of control. If you start going down, you're down 10-0, and it's very possible, right? You can get into the fourth quarter in this game or the third quarter in this game, and it's 13-3, 13-6. That's really not an insurmountable lead. I think you still need to stick with it, but there's going to be a possession where you're like, we got to make a couple throws here. So I think taking advantage of those 4 or 5 opportunities in a tightly contested defensive game, which I think it'll be, is going to be critical. It is going to be critical, man. All right, let's jump back into the phone lines. I got my guy Glenn on the horn. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, what's good, Sky?
What's up,
Long
brother?
time, no time. So I kind of came in a little bit late on the video, your X's and O's and keys to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I may have a different take.
What you got?
I don't think that this is. I don't think the blueprint's going to change, and I'm not sure if you're suggesting that it will.
No, I don't think it will.
Okay, great. Then maybe we are on the same page. Yeah, the one thing, and so I guess I'll just speak to the defense, because I think offensively, I don't think the blueprint will change really at all. I think the one thing I would like to see, and I think you've spoken of this before too, is more creativity, but not creativity in the context of trick plays. Fake reverses. I'm not talking about that. The one thing I'd like to see is typically what Sean McVay likes to do, which is to say that when you look at their offense, when they're really in a groove, every play looks the same, right? You never know from pre-snap whether it's going to be a pass or a run. the motion, the pulls, the traps. It could either lead to a successful inside run of 5 or 6 yards, or it can lead to a play action pass. I think that's the one deficient area I see in Kellen Moore's play calling or really his concepts is that
he doesn't do that.
Necessarily have a mirror. He doesn't have a mirror. Right.
Well,
every play should look the same.
He doesn't. Well, he doesn't do it on a consistent basis. Here's one of the things that's a bit discouraging. I mean, offensively, there's a lot, but one thing that was a bit discouraging after the Giants game, I thought, all right, man, we found something here. You know, he was very creative. There were plays that mirrored each other that looked like it was going to be a run, it was a pass, like it was going to be a pass, it's a run. You know, he was doing those type of things, creatively attacking the edges, getting tackles and guards and 21 personnel. All those things were on film, and then we haven't really come back to that. I would like for that to come back this week. I think it's going to be important to attack those edges out there because the interior is going to be a wrestling match, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point, the one thing that I think Kellen needs to explore a little bit more, I've only seen it, I think, on a couple of packages. I'd like to see Zeke and Pollard out there at the same time. I think there was a good play. I think it was a 3rd and short where Zeke lined up as a fullback, and they. I
feel like that one's 100%. Every time it's 3rd and 1 and they run that, I feel like it always works.
Absolutely, because they're so petrified of Tony Pollard taking it to the outside that the defensive tackles can't pinch as much. They have to respect the outside. It loosens up the middle. I think that's something Kellen needs to explore. The one thing, and maybe you'll get to defense tomorrow, the defensive keys. I don't want to jump the gun.
We did it yesterday.
Oh, okay. See, I've been out of pocket, and maybe
good.
You spoke to this, and I'll ask this and get off the line so I can listen. The one thing I've seen with Jalen Hurts that other teams haven't done is pressure. If I'm Dan Quinn, and obviously he knows more than I'll ever forget as far as defense, I want to see pressure on Jalen Hurts to deliver the ball inside the pocket. I want to make sure that he doesn't escape the box, and I want to see him make those deep throws to the inside or deep outs. None of that easy, cheap stuff over the middle. None of those bootlegs. I want to see heavy pressure. Not meaning blitz.
Well, I was just about to say,
coverage.
I was just about to say, if you're talking about, are you talking about blitzing, or are you talking about the players getting the pressure? Because if you're talking about blitzing, Dan doesn't blitz much, but it's interesting you bring that up because Jalen Hurts against the blitz hasn't been that great. This is going to be really interesting. Jalen Hurts hasn't been great against the blitz. Dallas doesn't blitz. But from what I was watching against
we get pressure looks.
The Cardinals, they don't cover. They don't clog and cover all that well in the back end, but they did it decent enough. When you make Jalen Hurts come off his first read by dropping 7, it now becomes, all right, man, let me run around, let me move around. I don't necessarily think that they have to send 5-6 guys all the time. I think we can get heavy pressure with 4, and then you drop 7 and you make Jalen Hurts have to make the right read. It's just going to be interesting, man. He's not good against the blitz. We don't blitz much. Do you change your stripes and start blitzing a bunch in this game? I don't know if I do it.
Well, yeah, and let me sort of modify what I'm saying. I'm not saying
not you. I'm just saying it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I guess all I'm saying is I want to see a lot of looks, at least pre-snap pressure looks. Maybe you're bringing one extra guy, but you're making it look like you're bringing extra guys on plays as well. I mean, we got to mix it up, and we have to always make him think. And I just want to see that. I want to see him thinking all the time. And on some occasions, we do need to bring an extra guy because, look, we have the back end athletes in order to make up any loss of ground on any given play.
I think one thing
I like our chances.
I think one thing we're not talking about here, all that shit don't even matter if you don't stop the run. That's where it begins, because at the end of the day, all the X's and O's from a passing game standpoint, I don't fear that. It's really about stopping the run. If you make them pass, I got all the confidence in the world in Dan Quinn. I'm not questioning him getting pressure looks and coverages and things like that, it's going to be stopping the run. If you are constantly in 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, 3rd and short, that's where it becomes extremely difficult to defend this offense because of all the things they do post action, right? Post snap with their action up front with the offensive line and the quarterbacks and the running backs and the tight ends.
Agreed. Last question, and I'm definitely off. Can we get and look, I don't want to count people's money. Dalton Schultz got his $11 million for this year. I thought it was a mistake at the time, and it's proving to be a mistake. Although maybe no one really anticipated the injury. Is he going to be out this game? Are we going to just? I'd like to see more of Hendershot and Ferguson because I feel like he's stunting their growth. I'll get off the line and listen. Great show.
My guy, I should put a poll up in here. I would say probably 85% of Cowboy Nation believes that. Is he going to play? It looks like it. I mean, he was limited. He's going to try to give it a go. It's another weird situation with these tight ends. Because I watched the Washington tape, and I'm like, plenty of opportunities there. Didn't happen. Then you watch this Rams game, and the tight ends weren't used in that capacity. There were a few, very, very small amount of opportunities for the tight ends to go out. They used them more so to block and then boom, 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 and they'll release. But they weren't really out there in routes like they were against the Giants, Cincinnati, and Washington. They were going out on a lot of routes, and there were opportunities. But here's why I'm like, I hear what you're saying about the stunt and the growth because we all want to see the young bucks play. So I bet you like 80% of you guys believe that. Are the tight ends even being used though in that manner? I personally think he should sit because he ain't healthy. Not necessarily because I think these other tight ends are going to make a difference from a passing game standpoint. I'm more so interested to see, the growth and development from a run blocking standpoint with the Peyton Hendershot, and then in a passing game standpoint with the Jake Ferguson. But we just haven't really been using these guys like that this year. Whether the only time really was week 2. So it's weird, man. It's a really weird situation at tight end for the moment. That could easily change, right? That could change this week. But I wonder how y'all feel, man, because I know y'all don't like the tag on Dalton Schultz, but I don't think he should be playing with that PCL situation. James from Cali. Scuddy.
Hey, what's going on, Sky? You know what? I agree. I got 2 points, and I'm going to agree with what you just said. I think if we look at what happened with Zeke when he had that PCO, we saw how he played. So I totally agree. We definitely need to see what we got. An actual real game speed against a decent defense. What these other tight ends got. I mean, we just got to do that because all Schultz is doing is really, kind of like a cap over a cup that's trying to get some water poured into it. It ain't never going to fill because he's blocking the hole. You know what I mean? And I totally agree with that. So pretty much whatever you said and the last 2 people said, I agree with. Now here's just my thought real quick. I'm sitting here looking at some of the teams that Philly has played. They really haven't played a defense like ours.
No.
I also will say this. If
Not
we
a
can
chance.
play the same way we played against the Rams, and I believe we can get pressure with just our front 4. I don't think we have to blitz. I think we can still get pressure on this team. I think our defense actually has the advantage because they haven't, like I said, Hurts hasn't played a defense like ours that gets pressure right away. And I think if we can cover well and get those coverage sacks, I think we'll be okay because Jalen is not a great quarterback. He's not a scrub. He's decent, but if you get him thinking and get him to pull the ball down and just be like, thinking, where am I going to go? I think we can get to him. And then as far as what you said on the offensive side, I don't believe we're going to score a ton of points, but I agree with you. We're not going to be able to run up the middle on this defense. I think most of our success will come with those sideline to sideline, the jet sweeps or the sweeps around the corner. If we can win that battle, and I guess in a nutshell, what I'm saying is I think this game is going to come down, as Foch would say, a battle of the trenches. Which offensive line is going to dominate? And I think we could do that.
Hey, man, that's why it's trench warfare today. It's definitely going to – and you can say that about, like, every game, right? Like, oh – but no, seriously. You know, this Eagles defensive line is the engine for that defense. And then –
yeah, it's good. It's a great defensive front. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's not good. It's good because the one guy they drafted, was it Gordon, I think? He's a big body.
Jordan Davis.
And then Fletcher Cox is a big body. So I think if we have any success, it's going to have to be – in other words, I think you've said this too, take what the defense gives you. Don't try to do too much, but just take what the defense gives you.
I haven't said that in a long time, honestly. It's been a while since
I know,
I've
and I
actually
think this game is going to have to be like that. We're going to have to take what they give us because they're not going to give up those big old 30-yard down the field plays. Just take what they give you, and then and like somebody else said, I think it was the caller before this last one, where try to get creative, but don't get over creative to where you're like trying to do what was it in the first game we played where they were trying to give Tony Pollard a triple reverse or something like that.
Yeah.
But don't get too cute, you know what I mean?
Trickery.
But I think we will win this game, and my bold prediction is I think we're gonna win this game. I think this might be the first team that might get 20, but I don't think we're gonna have too much to worry about. I'm gonna say I think we win this 24-20. But I just think our defense is gonna be too much for that front. And I think Hurts is going to make mistakes. I think we're going to get some. We're probably going to get some fumbles from them. I just don't think that their style of offense has played the kind of caliber defense that we possess. And here's the last thing that I'm going to say. And everybody says all the time, and they say something else. I honestly believe whenever we are underdogs and nobody gives us a chance to win, and nobody has on these shows, this is when we come out smelling like a rose, and I really believe that we're going to win this game.
My man, appreciate you, James.
All right.
I wonder how many players in there watch these shows. They talk about they don't, but I think they do. I mean, I don't watch them. These clips go around on Twitter, but all you gotta do is go to Vegas. What is Dallas? 6 points underdogs, something like that. I don't bet, but I know they're underdogs, and I know Mike McCarthy will use that. And I said last week, man, I think we should lean into it. He said to the media, "Oh, I don't talk about that." You do, and he said we're not underdogs. I like the mentality, but I want to lean into it. Lean into that thing. We got one of the Twans. I believe it's Mr. Wright. What's good, bro?
What's going on, Sky?
What's up with you?
Man, listen, bro. I'm not scared of this game, yo. Like, watching how our defense is playing right now and how Jalen Hurts plays, like to get out the pocket and scramble, we got defensive ends that can run. We not like these other teams, slow, just strong. We got fast defensive ends, a fast defense, period. So I'm not really worried about Jalen Hurts right now, bro. And the wide receiving core, we already played an elite wide receiving core. We played against the Bengals. They got one of the best receivers in the league all around.
That's what I said, Voch, yesterday. I was like, I'm not the receiver again. The passing game does not. The offense doesn't really concern me as much. The tight end does because they do some cool things with their tight end. But I'm defensively, I feel great about the defense. But how you feeling about the offense?
Offense, that's gonna be the Cooper Rush. This game, you have to make some key throws.
Yeah.
We can run the ball, get first down, but eventually we will have to throw the ball, and that's what I'm nervous at because his ball floats on him, and they got two good corners over there, Darius Slay and Bradbury, and they will pick you off.
Yeah, what I don't want to happen is we're running one of those out routes to Noah or to Lamb, and we know he doesn't have the strength to get it out there like that on the opposite hash, right? Mm-hmm. And Darius Slay will bait the shit out of him, and next thing you know, it's to the crib. So I feel like this is going to be one of those games where we gotta scheme these guys open, man. We gotta help them out, but this is why it's tricky, Twan. Man, they got a damn good front, and
that's the thing.
One of the things that I didn't mention when we were running down the Eagles defense and Cowboys offense was, Coop likes to get the ball out fast, and I feel like we're going to have to let some things develop a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be possessions where we're going to have to hit something, deep down the middle, or hit something deep outside, or hit, you know what I'm saying, hit something intermediate down the middle or intermediate outside. And that's going to require more than 2.10 seconds to throw the rock. So I feel like maybe in this game, help him out, whether it be with protection sliding one way or maybe rolling him out so he can hold it for, because I haven't seen them do, I know he's not a mobile quarterback, y'all, but you don't got to be mobile to do a rollout play. You know what I'm saying? So
not at all.
So what they could do is move the pocket, have him roll out. It's a half fill read, but maybe it's a flood situation. I just feel like we can't rely on 1-2, get the ball out, because this is a better defense, I think, than we've seen all year.
That's not gonna work this game. Yeah, that's not gonna work this game. We got to come up with something else for Cooper Rush. He really got to show up this game. He can make some key passes this game. Like that, those 3 and outs, that can't happen.
No, we can't. And you got to catch the ball, right? And you can't have penalties.
Yeah.
What I want to see, because what he's done, and he hasn't had to do this a ton, but there's been like 2 plays in a game, right? 2 or 3 plays in a game where it's like, all right, cool, that hit, and that kind of gets some things going. Maybe that goes from 2 to 3 to 5 or 6. If we can get like 5 or 6 of those plays where it's nothing big, a 15-yard reception just to get something going, a 12-yard completion just to get something going, right? Or I don't care if it's a deep shot to Turpin, right? Just back him up a little bit. Something to kind of get things going, because I'm not asking for this offense to score 25 points. They haven't done that yet. No. They haven't done that by themselves just quite yet. I'm just asking them to sustain drives, get into the red zone, and in this game, man, just get points. Just get them.
Yeah, just get them how you can get them. That's all I got to say, bro.
Yeah.
All right,
Twan.
take it easy, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, what I don't want anybody to think is if I'm asking or asking this Cowboys offense, Cooper Rush, Kellen Moore, anybody to play outside of what we've done. No, I still think I think it was who called in? Glenn called in and was like same formula. Yes, run the ball, play action. Hopefully you're successful running the ball, but I just think a little bit more creativity post snap, and we've seen some. We saw some in that Rams game. I liked the looks, but we're getting the ball out real fast. Some of it you gotta let develop just a little bit longer. Which here's the catch: develop longer, pass rush. Really tricky game for this offense, man. Really, really, really tricky game for this offense. CT Madden here said Brett finna drop 30 on Sunday. Listen, you won't find me complaining if we kick 4 field goals. Think about it. You kick 4 field goals and you score a touchdown, 1 touchdown offensively, 4 field goals. And let's say you get an interception for a return, or you get a return touchdown from the special team. That's enough to win. Now, that's a lot of possessions that you're getting into to kick field goals. But I'm going to say this. Somebody said first to 20. I'm thinking that. I know this is a good offense and everything like that, but dog, like everybody, we played Tom Brady. We played Joe Burrow. We played those receivers. Passing game, I'm just sorry, y'all. If Jalen Hurts makes a whole bunch of plays on the passing game, kudos to him. That means, to me, that says more about him than it says about the Cowboys. The Cowboys got a damn good defense and a damn good passing defense. It's going to be about corralling that running game, dealing with the post-snap stuff they'll do with their linemen, they'll do with their quarterback and running back. Make that man pass the rock. Uh, 469, what you got for us?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Steve? Man, it's my first time calling in. I always get to watch the show, but I'm always at work, so I appreciate it. I tried to call in yesterday, but it was too loud. You hung up, but it was all good, though.
Hey, man, thanks for calling in and watching, man.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. I think, actually, this game, man, I actually think Coop might score. I think he might throw 3. It's not going to be not going to be high in numbers, I don't believe, maybe in the 200 range or something like that. But I believe he might at least throw 3 touchdowns, and if we can get,
he ain't done that in his career just yet. He got 4 on the season, baby.
yeah, man. It's just this couple divisional, man, and we always we basically own the what Aaron Rodgers told the Bears, we own y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? We basically own the Eagles. You know what I mean? And Zeke has great games against the Eagles.
I know it's a different year, but Andy Dalton tore him up a couple years ago. So yeah.
And I would like Kellen to not abandon the run. Not saying that we have abandoned the run, but when it's like 2nd and 4, run the ball. Don't throw the ball and put us in a bad third down situation. Which 3rd or 4 ain't a bad third down situation, but you still probably going to end up trying to pass the ball on that situation. You know what I mean? And if we can get some screens to have an extension of the run game, that'll be good too. And then,
listen, where did the screens go? And I don't mean like where'd they go from a attempt standpoint, but we you're right. This would be the perfect time. Your backup quarterback, we're not really getting busy from a passing standpoint, but this would be the perfect time to be a really damn good screen team. Those are easy ways to get your offense rolling and your quarterback in a nice little rhythm. But man, and then this is an aggressive defense. Yeah. I hope they bring out quality screens in this game, but we just haven't been that good at it.
Yeah, man, I think that'll help Coop early. You know what I mean?
Right.
Getting his confidence, which he already has his confidence, but just to get him going and get there. And then, like you said, once you throw them screens and things like that, shoot, send one deep. Make their ass back up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Back up, Terry.
Besides that, I think we're going to do good. I think we're going to hold them down on offense. I really don't think nobody on offense can really, just kill us. If we can contain Jalen to where the fact that he not having receivers running make-believe routes because he's running, you know what I'm saying? Because as a former DB, dog, a route only lasts, a play only lasts about 3 or 4 seconds anyway, you know what I mean? So when you running 5 or 6, 7 seconds, that's a make-believe route. You just doing stuff then. So I just think if we can stop that, and, we got Kurtz on Goddard, so Kurtz not going to have Dallas Goddard doing too much. So I think we're going to be pretty good, man. I think I really don't want to call the game and say what's going to be close, but I don't think they're going to touch 20 to be real. I think about 17 points, maybe 17, 16 points probably be around
I feel
points I'm thinking they're going to get.
I feel the same. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Y'all know me. I can't give away the full prediction, but I will say this. This may be the game, maybe, where the 1 touchdown streak could end, but that doesn't mean that they'll get more than 20. That's what I'm saying. But, and I don't even know if they'll score more than one touchdown. I'm just saying, you can score 17, still not get 20 and have 2 touchdowns. Just saying. But I was thinking as he was talking about taking shots. Yeah, and Coop has done that. We haven't been ultra successful in regards to the deep shots. We've only I think we're somewhere like 4th least amount of attempts, but a couple here or there. Yeah, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. I'd love to do it with Turpin because he can just Coop, throw it as long as possible and go get it type of situation. But think about it. If it's 3rd and long, 3rd medium, and you take a shot and it's an interception, it's basically a long punt. But there's going to be times maybe you have to do it. But he's a smart dude. He's a careful guy. I just wonder if we get into a spot where we do have to kind of, get a little bit more aggressive, how it looks. Shout out to L. He said, gotta love it. First time callers. Who's next? Don't let the flames in the chat scare you. It's a good time. Plus the engagement is needed. Absolutely. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the fan focus every single day. Brought to you by Boston Scientific. ED can affect your self-esteem and impact your most important relationships. Take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad to learn more. There's a permanent satisfying solution to treat ED. Visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatment options that work when pills don't work for you. Again, edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific. Take a little sip of your water real quick as we get ready to hit the last part of the show.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
Back when I was a white. Y'all never surprised with it. So, Sky in the Multiverse, by the way, for those who don't. Somebody said Sky in the Multiverse. Back when I was a white man. Extra light Sky. Sky baby pick. Yo, y'all crazy. This is winter Sky. That's the thing about being light-skinned. For all my light-skinned folk out there, you understand. When winter comes, now I'm in Texas though, so maybe it's a bit different, but in PA, boy, that's eesh. You know they call us high yellow and whatnot. You low yellow in the winter. Jeez. 175 years old. Appreciate you, AA Ron. He said the film room was amazing, Sky. Man, I love doing these things. I'm not my guy, Vach. I'm not my guy, Koye. Koye, I call him the professor in the film room. He's a guru. Vach is Vach. You know, I ain't those guys, but I do love seeing the different perspectives in the film room, man. I love bringing it to y'all live. Jay Verse, Coop can do it. My issue is we need our wide receivers to make plays. Yes. The wide receivers have to help him out. Cannot be dropping these balls. Not in this game. Not in this game. You know what, DNP? I was actually going to bring this up. You brought up the Vikings situation. We are probably going to need that version, the second half version, not the first half version. That version of Cooper Rush. If you go back and watch that second half, he was YOLO. It was YOLO ball. Now, it wasn't all pretty and clean, but if you go look at that last drive, it was Mark Cooper over there throwing it up. Should have been picked. He dropped it. So what? We're moving forward. Quick slant to Coop the next play, get some yak. Then at the last drive, we throw it up, touchdown. We're going to need more of that Cooper Rush than this current version of Cooper Rush, in my opinion. All right, we got a couple more. Let me lock these up because we do got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, my Reading brother, Reek, 920, and then we're going to close out with Bro G.
Good morning, my good brother.
What's going on, good brother?
Okay, God bless you and the family like always. And we got a couple points I want to say real quick. I believe if our linebackers play, if they play good, solid, disciplined thing, they'll cover Jalen Hurts. And another point is that I believe if our receivers, if they play fundamental, catch the ball, let's not try to be cute stuff, just play good football, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, if we use some screens, because they like us, their defense is very aggressive too. So I think if we throw some screens, that'll calm down their defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we gotta execute those screens better though.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all I got for today, my good brother. God bless you and the family like always. And you and Vash, y'all keep on doing a good show. Oh, and one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
When I called this show yesterday, he said something about that I sound like some guy. Who was that guy that he was referring me to?
I have to go back and listen. I thought he said that you were Hispanic. I thought he said
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And then he was saying something else. But anyway, he's a good guy. You both you're a good guy, bro.
Thank you, man. I'll go back and listen to see what's up. But appreciate the call as always, good brother.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Watch something else, as y'all know, though. Somebody asked me in the chat, who would I spy on Hurts? I've been saying Dono. And you're not going to spy him every play or whatever, but a lot of big dime, big nickel in this game with Dono. Who you won't run? Oh, all right. Hurts likes to run and try to get to the sideline, but if he is in the middle of the field, he's sliding a bit. I know it's gonna sound bad, but I think I might be willing to live with one of those personal foul penalties. I'm not saying hurt the guy, right? Like I'm not saying hurt Jalen Hurts. I'm not doing that. But Sam Williams, if you want to go ahead and get a little late hit, I mean, I'll be okay with that. I'm not saying give him a concussion. I'm not saying gator roll him, Tristan Hill. I'm not saying any of that. But Quentin Bohanna, if you want to put your 360 pounds on him, I'm cool if you do that. I'm not saying squish him. I don't want him to come out the game now. He's hurt and I feel bad and things like that. No. Nothing like that, man. Nothing like that. But J-Ron, if you want to decapitate his head at some point, I'm cool with that. That's all I'm saying. Hit this mother. Hit him. All these quarterbacks the Cowboys have played, go listen to what they've said after the game. Tom Brady, man, that might be the best pass rush we will see all year. He said, I woke up with the bruises. I only got sacked twice, but I woke up with the bruises. My innards is hurting. Joe Burrow was like, Coach, timeout. No. One on Collins' podcast and said, yeah, man, Micah Parsons, something else. I don't know what to tell you, man. Carson Wentz was running around trying to figure stuff out, throwing interceptions, getting sacked. And I promise you, if you want to laugh, go look at the first sack that Dorrance Armstrong had on Matt Stafford. His face is just in the dirt. He fumbled the ball, didn't even want to get up and get it. He just stayed there. Immediately, he felt it. And then at the end of the game, he throws the ball and Osa hits him. And these Qs don't like it. I think I tweeted during the Rams game. It was like the first quarter, maybe after the third possession. I'm like, they hitting Matt Stafford's at. He gonna throw us one eventually. It's gonna happen. Hit Jalen Hurts. You want to scramble for 6 yards? Cool. Better run out of bounds. That's all I'm saying. What's good, Rick?
What's going on, Sky? What up, Sky? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Hey, Sky, man, you ain't played my button in a minute, man. You ain't hit this button in a minute, man. This is Philly week. This Eagle week, man. We going hunting. You know what we do? You know what we do?
What's that?
We run, hit, talk shit. That's what we do.
Let me get that for you right now. You keep talking.
That's what we do.
Keep talking. I got you.
That's what we do. Hey, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. All we gotta do, their aggressive defense. They got some good players over there. What do you do against an aggressive front? You run traps. You run sweeps. You run in and rounds against these people. You run screens. We got to use their aggressive-ness against them. We know we can't run straight into the teeth of this defense. It's not happening. They got a three defensive tackle rotation.
Yeah.
They got pretty good ends, and they got experienced ends that don't won Super Bowls. They don't won a Super Bowl with a couple of these guys, so they know what to do. My thing is this. Kellen Moore has to get into a mindset of we got to jump on them early because they're going to try to jump on us early. It's whoever jumps on who early that might win this game. And like y'all been saying, they score points in the first half more than they do in the second half. From what I've been seeing, we've been scoring more points in the second half than the first half. You know what I mean? And we've been getting them however we can get them. My thing is like this. This is not the week for this guy not to get into the end zone every time we get into the most of the time when we get into this red zone. This field goal game is not going to beat them unless our defense is just being total dominant, slamming people on their head. I don't care about no late hits. I want Jalen Hurts to get hit every time he snaps that rock and think he's going to run against his defense.
Yeah.
He needs to feel it.
Yep.
Because this little shuffle he doing in the end zone, I don't want to see it. And I hope that they punter be stupid enough to punt this ball to turpentine, and they gonna really feel it. Because I think we got I know we got a better special teams than them. Because we got to work all three phases of this game to beat these boys. And I'm gonna land my plane on this one. I hope we kick a field goal to win the game. To kill them.
Ooh, that'd be.
I'm up out of here.
You know what? At first, and Vosh had said something like this yesterday when I was like, man, I want to put, because I said this to y'all, I want to blow them out. I want to put up 40 and all this other stuff. I'm just dreaming at that point. But so what? I do. I want to blow their ass out. But if Vosh was like, nah, let's beat them close, right? Let's beat them close on like a field goal. And then when the Cowboys play them again in December at the crib, Dak will be back. The offense will probably know what it is at that point. Then we whoop their ass with Dak Prescott. Make them believe there's hope. I only beat us by 3. If this went that way, if that went that way. That made me think, like, you know what? That might be a bit more satisfying, to be honest with you. Just a little bit. Because it'd be like sticking a knife in somebody and twisting it. Yeah, but if we didn't get that penalty, yeah, but y'all lost. Y'all only beat us by 3, but y'all lost. Well, just wait till we get who back? Because wait till we get Dak Prescott back, god dang it. Might be a little bit more funner. I don't know. But I love a blowout, though. I ain't never going to say no to a blowout. 2 more, and I'm going to get to these super chats for y'all, man. We got 920 on the horn. What's goody?
Hey, Scott Walker, this is your boy, Carl Young.
Carl? What's good, Carl?
Hey, dude, I just got a couple questions, man. First, it just seemed like I feel so calm this week. Yeah. Last week, going up against that whole week leading up into the game with the Rams, I was kind of nervous because I thought it would be a letdown because the Rams are still the Super Bowl champs, and Dallas did their business. This game here, I'm just so calm. I don't feel nothing. I can't wait till the game starts, but I don't feel like I'm nervous or anything. I actually think that the Cowboys, the last minute where the Cowboys hit a field goal and win this game at the last moment.
You know,
and I think this might be where they score at least 20 points against Dallas. This might be.
If they get 20, we get 23, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. This might, and I'd be sad that the streak is gone. But if they win, who gives?
Hey, that streak might be gone, but the win streak damn sure ain't. You know, something you said, Carl. You said you feel calm, and that's kind of how I haven't felt this calm game in, game out, and I think it's likely due to because we have such a defense that we haven't had in I don't think ever in the last 20 years. We got this defense that we may not have the most explosive offense, but guess what? Our defense is now scoring points. Our defense is getting the ball back. Our defense is putting our offense in position where just get me 13. Just give me 13. And you know, while we're figuring this thing out, remember in the offseason, coming into the year, even with Dak Prescott, what was I saying to y'all? What were we saying collectively? This defense was going to have to carry the offense until the offense figured itself out.
Yeah.
Now we didn't. Yeah, we didn't think Dak Prescott would get hurt, right? But the same thing still is in play. Yeah, Dak is hurt, but the offense is still figuring itself out now due to having a different quarterback in there, but it's still trying to figure out how can we become better. We always believed that was the case. And now the defense is playing the way it's playing while the offense is figuring things out. Maybe that's why I'm like, hey, eventually the offense is going to catch up. And when that happens, it's scary for the rest of the NFL.
Yeah. But my last I'm so kind of like disappointed in all this Dak situation because dude, I've been all week long I've been waiting for him to throw and because I really wanted him to play this game and I knew it was a doubt in there, but I really wanted because it seems like we a much better offense when he plays and I get it and he's disappointed because he want to play. So in
gotta
saying
be healthy, man.
this,
Gotta be healthy.
He's not playing Sunday, so why risk him to play against Detroit and the Bears? Just bring him back after the bye week against the Packers. A perfect time.
It's not a risk.
He's not going to play this week.
It's not a risk. Well, it's not a risk if he's healthy. I think we're overcomplicating when to bring him back. It's very simple to me. Are you healthy? You play. It's very simple. Very simple. You don't want to keep playing with this fire. But go ahead.
Yeah. That's why I say if Dak don't, I was saying this, a couple weeks ago, if Dak don't play in the Philly game, why not just bring him back after the bye week against the Packers? Perfect, and he should be all the way. I think Dak is healthy. I think they just doing a precaution.
He's not, but he's not medically. He's not medically cleared, so he's not fully healthy.
So
let's not feed. Let's not feed into the. Let's not do the national media thing, right? Is Mike McCarthy's telling y'all straight up, dude? This is a medical thing. As soon as he's medically cleared, then we'll move on from there. I think we're trying to find a tinfoil hat reason to this, and I think it's clear. It's so simple. It's right in front of us, man. We just have to accept it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this last. Now, if this and it's not, if this is a playoff game, do you think Dak is in there?
If he's not healthy, no. I don't know how many people have hit me up. If he's 85%, do you put him in? If it's the Super Bowl, if it's the playoffs, no. His thumb broke. I don't want no quarterback in there that got an 85% thumb. No.
So they going against even if they you saying it's medical, right?
Yes.
So if the medical don't give the okay, he can't play.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. I just good luck. I mean, they gonna win Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's gonna just kill the North for everything. They gonna win Sunday, dude. I just got that gut feeling that they gonna win. They underdogs. Go in Philly and beat them. You owned them the last 3-4 years. Go beat them. Simple as that. Run the ball, beat the Eagles, dude. I can't stand the Eagles, man. I've been hearing all this smack all week. Eagles this, Eagles that.
Yeah, I can't stand them either, bro.
If there's one team that can beat the Eagles, it's the Cowboys.
Facts.
Yeah.
I agree. Appreciate you, Carl.
I appreciate that, bro.
All right, man.
All right. Have a good one, bro.
You as well. Am I simplifying it too much? Or I don't know, man. I just think now they even asked Coach, well, if you weren't winning, would you? He's like, man, this is medical. Maybe as a fan, maybe I would be like, oh, we ain't winning, man. 85% Dak. Get him out there. But I do think it's that simple. You ready? Are you healthy? Is it all? Everything is held up? We get back out. And I know that that's not the fun thing to do because social media, national media, the fun thing to do is to spin it every other way. But I just think 6.5 point underdogs. I mean, I know we ain't been scoring a lot, but that's a bit disrespectful. Look at the Eagles real quick. You know what I noticed, and the Eagle fan, we were in the VOT show. I said, Eagle fans, tell me why in the second half you guys aren't scoring. It was like, Well, that's because we've been up and we haven't had to score. And I remember Schiff called in earlier and said, well, a lot of people would like to get a 40 burger, sure. And you got a point, Eagle fans. Y'all been blowing a lot of dudes out, a lot of teams out by that point. I should say some, not all. But I mean, 29 points. All right, cool. They scored 29. 24, 24, 20. I know they got 38 week one. I'm talking about an offense that this ain't the Bills. These ain't the Chiefs. 6 points. You think our defense can't hold these boys enough to where it's within a touchdown? Where it's been that way for the last 4 weeks. But all right, man. I don't do the betting thing, but I feel like that's a stretch, man. Yeah, shout out to Aisha in the building. Yeah, they're not scoring. I mean, let me go to this Jags game. Let me see what happened here. 14-20 going into the fourth quarter. All right. Bro G. What's good, Bro G?
What is up, my man? What's going on, America's fans from the Bay? Man, I have to get up early to get on this show, man.
Yeah.
We're here on the West Coast. I can get up like at 6 o'clock just to hear you, man. So I usually listen to you later on in the afternoon. I go on YouTube and
Bro G,
rewatch
you
it,
in the West Coast?
Yeah, West Coast,
Man.
Bay Area.
I give all
Emily Lyons here, San Francisco area.
Yeah, I give all y'all, man, all the West Coast fans. I don't know how y'all be getting up that early to listen to me. So thank you.
We do it, man. It's all about the nation, man. Cowboys Nation. You know what I appreciate, man? All our the community here, man, or the Law Nation, you and Raj, Boss Cowboy, Big Game James, my boy West Coast, man. I think everyone listens to y'all, man. So everyone all on the same vibe, same. See, look, here in the Bay Area, I'm a Warrior fan, so I'm gonna tell you, we are literally the sixth man for the Warriors, because it's like the team, the organization, the fans, we all one. It's like one. Like the fans can actually will the Warriors to win. If you ever go to a game, they feed off of that, and I think that's what we got to be for our Cowboys, man. Sometimes we speak too negative about our team, about Dak this, Rush that. No, let's just go out and win, man, and support who's ever out there playing, and it's like, well, that's what happened in Los Angeles. If you even on TV, you could hear the crowd, like they were just feeding. Even after the game, post game, the coach, the player was talking about, man, it felt like a home game.
We ain't going to
That's
LA. This is Philly, my guy. I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna be close to what it was like in LA, bro. So.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's like in Philly for their home games when it comes to Cowboy fans.
It's nothing like LA, like night and day, bro.
Yeah. Anytime they come to the West Coast, when the Raiders were here, it was always 50-50. You know, Niner game, Chargers always 50-50. But my thoughts on the game, man, is pretty much, man, I'm with Reek, man. Well, when he's talking about how our offense needs to attack their defense, I think we need to go with a lot. They need to put Zeke and Pollard in the backfield, like at least 30%, not 30, but 25% of the plays. But we need to do a lot of. It depends on what they're playing. If they're playing man or they're playing zone. Even at the first quarter, you need to do a lot of wheel routes, flares. Just throw it to them. You know, even if it's a little minimum game, you need to get them linebackers to suck up to come up to them linebackers, or to come up to get, to cover the backs. And when they start creeping up and try to take away the flares, take away the wheel routes, or the little out route from the back, that's going to leave the middle wide open for the tight ends. Not if they do that, if they scheme it up, I think we could hit them tight ends. In the middle there with Hendershot and Ferguson. I want to see Ferguson get some catches in. He got some hands.
They don't.
I saw his highlight tape from college. He got some soft hands, man. So
I hear what you're saying, but from what they're doing this year, they're not using the running backs out the backfield to pass. They're not hitting the tight ends down the seams or using them in the middle of the field. So we're basically asking them to do something they haven't done. I'm with you. I hope they do incorporate these things, especially against an aggressive defense. But what I have seen them do that has worked against an aggressive defense, I would like to see them go back to. In the New York Giants game, they used 21 personnel. They used pre-snap motion. They used some post-snap creativity. Maybe Rush isn't comfortable going to the tight ends across the middle. Maybe he doesn't like swinging the ball out to the running backs. If that's the case, then do things that he is comfortable with, right? To put him in the most comfortable position, because it's going to be uncomfortable on Sunday, right?
Of course. Yeah, you're right. You are right about that. I'm talking about concepts we usually don't do.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in the.
I'm with you though. I'm with you. I would love for them.
Yeah.
No running back caught a pass last week, and then the week before.
Rick also said about running those jet sweeps. It's been a while. We haven't really did jet sweeps since we used to do them a lot when Linehan was the coordinator. You need to put Turpin back there, even if you use him as a decoy, because they're going to be scared of his speed. Just have him motion across. That might be our chance to, if we can run up the middle, because we got to get them linebackers to be moving to the sideline so we can open up the middle. That's all my frame of thought. Well, I'm not the coordinator, but that's what we need to do, because that's what teams used to do to us. They always were trying to get our linebackers to get out of the middle of the field to spread out our linebackers. And I think that's how we should attack. And we probably not, because you're right. We don't usually do that kind of stuff no more. But
I think where he lives comfortable at, Bro G, is play action. So, make them respect the running game. Remember week 1. We want to do the opposite week 1, where Devin White was like,
they're going to try to sit our running game down. That's going to be their whole focus.
Say it again.
I don't think they're really too, they ain't worried about us going deep or anything. So, yeah, they're going to have everyone creeped up there. That's what I think they're going to do. They're going to be concentrating on stopping that run. So,
yeah.
Get some linebackers spread.
Yeah, indeed.
Get them flare routes out there to Pollard, and use Turpin back there. Some flare routes, wheel routes, jet sweeps, to hit the tight ends, get everyone sucked up.
100, Bro G.
Yeah, man. My feeling on this game, I'm kind of like with the last caller, man. I'm kind of like calm, man. I was nervous about that Rams game. I was a little nervous for that game, but this game, I don't know, man. My feeling is just, I don't really care if we lose. We've already done past our expectations.
Wait, Bro G. Let's not put that in the air now, man. But yeah,
I'm just saying, man. I know. I was just saying, with the situation that we're in with our quarterback, like, man, I'm just hoping the Cinderella shoe don't come off, but I think it's going to be close out. I don't know. I just have a feeling we might blow them out. What makes me think when we blow them out, I think they might get a lot of holding penalties on their offense. That's going to be putting them behind the chains, real third and long. So I have a feeling that's going to happen, man, with their side of ball offense. So
we in Philly.
I think the refs are starting to come along and starting to favor us when it comes to calls.
Sir, did you watch that Rams game?
What's that?
Did you watch the Rams game?
Oh yeah, all those holding calls that they didn't call. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even anticipating holds. You know what I'm saying? If it happens, it's a bonus.
No, I just have that feeling, man. The rest, my favorite rest in the game. I just have that feeling.
All right, bro. Appreciate you calling, Bro G. Good to hear from you, man.
Yes, sir. Got everyone stay up.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
wait for Sunday. All right, y'all.
We in Philly. They ain't gonna give us them calls, man. Y'all know that. I know that. We might get a couple though. He brought something up that made me go back to. I was looking as he was talking. Since the first game, Cooper Rush came in, and they gave that pitch to Tony Pollard. I don't think that was a pass. So 4 receptions to the running backs in that game. Since then, in the last 4 receptions total. I do give Kellen credit I have given him credit over the last 3 games for, because this has to be hard, right? It's he really wants to do X, Y, Z, and he can't, whether that be because of Mike, whatever. He's trying his hardest not to screw this thing up. I gave him credit in the Giants game. I thought, man, that was one of his best call games I've ever seen him do. Now all right, Kellen, where can we improve? And the caller was bringing up the flare routes, but this is stuff I've been asking when Dak was in the game. Get these guys involved in regards to Tony Pollard. But 4 receptions to the running backs and 1 reception over the last 3 weeks to Tony. That doesn't make any sense, right? So in this game might be one of those games, man. You know, pass rush, this is an aggressive defense. An aggressive defense. You can bing. Little flare out. 15 yards. Screen. Screen's been weird. So I'm with you, caller. You know, I'm with you. I'm asking for them to do something they don't do. Well, if you say, Sky, they ain't going to do it. All right, well, what do they do? Against the Giants, they were in a lot of that creativity stuff. Go back to it. Go back to it. L said the plane is in Bermuda. I saw y'all in there going crazy, man. Let's get to these super chats. Oh, we out of here. Good time. I think that's good time.
Super chat.
Lemitra, $2 donation says 38-13 Eagle killers. 3 picks, 2 pick sixes, and we need a Turpin touchdown. From your lips to the football god's ears.
Super chat.
Jay Versick, $5 donation says Eagle fans are going to run and cry in a car if they lose a Cooper Rush. Debo, that 5-0. Let Coop go out there and just eat on these dudes. I'm gonna be a whole damn fool on Monday.
Super chat.
Eternal Dynasty. Vic Fangio, a defensive consultant with the Eagles. Oh, really? I didn't know that. It's something Kellen has to take into consideration. Vic with the Broncos made us look bad. Hey, Eternal Dynasty. That is a nugget right there. I didn't know that. See, this is why I be saying y'all the best. That is interesting. Now Dak's not playing, and we're not playing that same style. But when you go look at how we've performed outside of play action, it hasn't been the greatest. I haven't really taken notice. No, Washington. When Washington did a lot of zone stuff, their zone was trash. And we talked about that leading up to the game. Like, these linebackers and these safeties are garbage. They just look lost out there. But not so much in Philly. But that is interesting. Vic Fangio is a defensive consultant. Vic kind of low-key got Kellen's number, right? Below the heavens.
Super chat.
Good heavens. And this was, okay, it's today. He says, Dan Snyder dropping dimes. Oh, is that what's happening? And yesterday, I forgot to do a super chat, I believe, or 2. My apologies. Lord Nova, he said, I'm from Philly and I loaf the Eagles. Thank you, brother.
Super chat.
And that was it, yeah. Man, that's a nugget, man. Vic Fangio. Huh. In my opinion, I think he got a better defense. I mean, it's not even his defense, though. I think Jonathan Gannon is the defense coordinator. I wonder if that's why Gannon, from a statistical standpoint, looks a little bit different. I don't know who was in his ear last year. But Gannon was really conservative. Played a lot of too high shell. Wasn't blitzing, wasn't disguising anything. And we were just running on them dudes. Teams aren't just running on Philly. Maybe we do. I hope we do. We're going to need to. But I'll be lying, bro, if I sat here and act like this defensive line is not going to be tough to run on. Like, just out of curiosity, y'all know fan favorite. Jordan Davis. Has anybody like actually went and watched Jordan Davis? I haven't said anything on this show yet, which honestly is my mistake about what I think might be their version of the mouse in the house, and it's that interior. I brought up interior against the Biotishes and the McGoverns of the world. Even Zach Martin been struggling a little bit. Zach is still Zach. Trust Zach. Between Jordan Davis, Javon Hargrave, who gave Biotis trouble last year, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams. Like I said at the top of the show, the toughest front we'll see, which is why I'm going to need Kellen Moore to help these guys out from a schematic standpoint. Help them out. If you think you're just going to go man and we're just going to combo block here, get up here. Professor O, that's your guy, man. He said Davis has been phenomenal the last 2 weeks. He's a mountain. Dude is ridiculous. Now, I ain't saying cut block Jordan. Nah, I'm just I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. But nah, man, we definitely have to be strategic about how we do this thing. I think we got one more super chat.
Super chat.
TC915 said, I hope it's a blowout, but I'm thinking $16, $13. Man, we'll take it. Shit. We'll take it. We will take it. ML Burrow says teams are definitely running on Philly. Oh, are they? Outside of week 1, how things been over there? Thought from my research that wasn't the case. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look, man. And again, there are 2 ways to make a team submit in the run game. Shut them down. Or score and make them not run anymore. So let's take a look here, man. Dalvin Cook had 6 carries for 17 yards. Madison had 2 carries for 8. That was a shutdown game right there. As opposed, and they got up in that game too. They got up in that game. Washington, I thought when I was looking at Washington in this game, I thought they had a little bit of success. My mistake. J.D. McKissick 3 carries for 8 yards. Gibson 12 carries for 38 yards. On the day, when you include Carson Wentz, 22 carries for 87 yards. You take out Carson Wentz's scrambles, 19 carries for like 60 yards. Pretty much shut that down. What did Jacksonville? Now, Jacksonville, oh, I already know what they did. I looked at it. It wasn't my... Travis had 8 carries, 32 yards. Not a bad day. Robinson, 8 carries, 29 yards. What's that? 16 carries, 51 yards. 16 carries, 51 yards. Actually, I'll take that down. They running on them. What about the last game? I already know the last game. I already studied that. Let's see here. James Conner, 1 off, 55 yards. We're not going to do Kyler Murray. We don't got a Kyler Murray on the team. Benjamin, I saw that touchdown run. That was a good one. 8 carries, 25 yards. So James Conner and Benjamin had 17 carries. Is that 80 yards? That's the best day that I've seen. 17 carries, 80 yards. So if 17, now week 1, right? Now week 1, they got ran on. They had a couple big plays there, but I'm talking about since then. 17 carries for 80 yards is the best rushing performance since then. I'll be honest with you. If we go 25 carries for 101 yards, I'll take it. 28 carries for 103 yards. Oh man, yeah. I'll take that. So I don't think it's been quite Tampa Bay shutdown, but also isn't like you're just eating on these dudes. And what have I always said to y'all? You want to run. Are you scoring? Are you scoring? And they're kind of doing what Dallas was doing last year. Get up on opponents, give up your little 5 yards, you know what I mean? Whatever. Are you scoring? If you're not scoring, then it doesn't matter. So we might need one of those 8 carry, 67-yard, 50-yard touchdown days from Tony Pollard. We might need it. All right, that's going to do it. Let's go ahead. Head on up out of here. Hit the like button on the way out. Later today, Mo will be back on here. A to Z Sports Dallas, prime time. Last show of the week of reviewing this game. Later on with Vach Lombardi live over on the Volume. Holla at us. Be a good time. We always say you don't want to miss a show. Appreciate y'all for being here. With that said, I'm going to press this button. We'll be here all day. Got to. Better not abandon that thing. Not with this one. I didn't know Mo was a Yankee fan. Actually, that makes sense. Marcus Hardison sent one that said 2022 Eagles equal 2020 Steelers. Let's hope so. We out of here. Peace. Love you.